It's time! It's time! It's JFW time!
Alright guys, this is that time to step in the ring with the greatest faction in podcast history. Just freaking wrestling, the JFW Podcast, hosted by Travesty.
And I am the amazing turtle. Cowabunga, everybody.
Look at that. Look at you just falling right into it now, man. It's like a groove you created.
Well, I don't want to have all of these, names and specials, like you called me out on a round table last week. Don't think I didn't listen to that.
Right. That's what I do, man. Travesty just passive aggressively just says shit on podcasts instead of doing it, in person. But I am here with the amazing turtle, Nubby, as I, know him. But you guys, know him as however you want. It's totally up to you. Dally should hopefully maybe be back by next week. And, Steve may pop in at some point today. I don't know. But in the meantime, I am here with Nubby. We're going to talk about, Clash at the Castle that happened this past weekend, as well as go over, SCW's, Labor of Perseverance. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it. Labor.
And, whatever shows, I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to cover tonight as well.
Well, we got a couple of things.
Yeah.
Big show at Rocket Pro Wrestling this upcoming weekend.
Awesome. We'll dive into, obviously, talking about wrestling. But before we do, I got to remind all you guys that this episode of Just Freaking Wrestling is brought to you by CarterComics.com. If you're just like me and a huge fan of collecting things, for me, it's Funkos. But maybe for you, it's comic books, and you're trying to find that one-stop shop for all your comic needs. CarterComics.com is the best place for you to go. Just go to CarterComics.com, sign up for the Carter Comic Club, fill your card up with all their amazing comics, whether it be graded or raw. They have them all there right for you. And then at the checkout, use the discount code FREAKNET, that's FREAKNET. You'll save 10% on your entire order of comics. That's right. 10% on your entire order. And I call it a discount code, not a promo code, because this is a discount code that you could use over and over and over again. So, CarterComics.com has thousands of comic titles. They just don't happen to all be on their site yet. They just constantly get more in, constantly more go up. So, if you happen to go on, let's say this week, and you don't see a comic you want, but if you check next week, it might be there. You can use discount code once again. And if you're not a big fan of just buying comics outright, you like the challenge and you like bidding, like let's say on eBay, they do have 4 different eBay accounts you could browse through as well, and they're all listed on their main page at CarterComics.com. Go today, fill your card up, use the discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET, save 10% today. CarterComics.com. It's going to be your new comic world. Smooth,
Perfect,
isn't it? God, I'm so fucking good at that. Oh, I'm a little scatterbrained, Nubby.
A little scatterbrained. It's all good.
I'm a little scatterbrained. Kind of like when somebody tries to call you out at a wrestling show for being on your phone. Just out of fucking nowhere. A little bit like that. But I want to thank everybody. If I haven't had a chance to yet, I want to thank all of you guys for your responses to the Ivan Manson interview that I did not too long ago. A lot of positive responses to it, and a lot of people are excited to hear the part 2 of it. If I haven't mentioned to you guys when that's going to be, part 2 is going to happen sometime in December of this year, following his final match, his final goodbyes and everything. And I'm still in touch with Ivan almost on a daily basis, or every other day at least. And we haven't nailed down a date yet, but it is coming in December. So I know you guys are excited for that. This week I was supposed to interview Mike Nolan. You guys know him as Acid. I know him as my cousin. Schedule conflict, so it's still going to happen. It just won't be this week. But I've been in touch with Mike, and we're going to plan that hopefully here in the future as well. So, as I mentioned, we're going to do more interviews here on JFW, as well as what we're doing here weekly, kind of talking about wrestling, both the televised and independent. So, we do appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us. And especially, I do appreciate Nubby being here with me and falling into this new role that he has. So, Nubby, if I haven't said it, I do appreciate everything you're doing here, helping me out as far as sharing these shows on social media, as well as bringing all the knowledge and stuff to independent wrestling that I haven't had a chance to collect myself. So,
good to be here.
I appreciate that. So, all right, that's enough being nice. I don't need to, kiss your ass the whole time. Just enough to keep you here. Clash of the Castle, Saturday afternoon. Give me your overall feedback on it before we run through the results. How did you feel about the pay-per-view? This is the first time in 30 years that they did a pay-per-view out in England?
Yeah, I believe the main pay-per-view they did out there was the SummerSlam. Am I correct?
Yeah, Wimbledon.
Yeah. What was it, Bret Hart and British Bulldog?
Yep, and I think Bret Hart was actually in attendance at Clash of the Champions this past weekend.
You mean I Clash at the Castle?
Whatever.
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm.
And you're going to read my ass for it again. I did not watch it, but I browsed through some of the highlights. And based on what I've read, it was a solid show. And I'm happy that there's a lot more positive now as to negative in the past. So I think we're on the right track when it comes to WWE programming, thanks to the new regime.
Yeah, for the true wrestling fan, you can tell a difference in the product that WWE is putting out since Vince McMahon's retirement and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and everything kind of taking over. Obviously, we've seen a lot of returns and everything. Johnny Gargano, I don't know if we had a chance to mention that. I think we did a little bit on the night he did return. But also we saw Braun Strowman return this past Monday on Raw. No returns as far as at the pay-per-view. We did see Tyson Fury in the audience, which he recently had some kind of working agreement with WWE a couple years back. I think it was around the pandemic. But no big returns. We did see Bayley's team collectively in a six-man tag match, obviously taking on Bianca and Alexa Bliss and Asuka. And they picked up the victory against them, which was pretty cool to see how they work together as a team. I think they officially they're calling themselves Damage Control, which I think is a fitting tag team name for the gimmick that they're creating. This whole women's group who is trying to fix the women's division that has supposedly fallen apart since Bayley's been gone.
I mean, she might not be wrong. I do like the name. Pretty original. Mm-hmm. They're not calling themselves Deadly Women or, I like the name.
Yeah.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think one of the things was cool, and I was going to save it, and I totally forgot to, but I saw a post on one of the wrestling pages that I follow, and they were talking about what producers worked on what matches at the pay-per-view. And I think one of my favorite matches of the whole show was Gunther taking on Sheamus for the IC title. We saw a return of Imperium as a group, but Abyss was actually the producer of that show. That match, and I thought that was pretty cool because you don't hear too much about Abyss since he left Impact and came over to WWE. I'm still hoping that one day Abyss makes like a Royal Rumble appearance.
That'd be nice.
I think that'd been pretty cool to see. If it ever happens, it'd be awesome. If not, I know he kind of gets appointed like the big man matches, and I think he crushes it every time. I think Michael Hayes obviously got the main event with Roman and Drew. I think Jamie Noble did the Riddle Rollins match. Jason Jordan did the Liv Morgan Baszler match. And they all crushed it. I think overall all the matches were good. We saw Gunther retain his title against Sheamus. We saw Rollins pick up the victory against Riddle, which that was a kind of a surprise to me. I think that was the only one we both collectively got wrong because I didn't realize it, but we picked the same ones for every match. So we both won. So we both took a victory on that. Steve got one right. And Daly never gave me hers. So 6-woman tag we mentioned, Bayley and Io Sky and Dakota Kai all won, which I also found out in that, which I thought was pretty cool because I don't think Vince McMahon ever would have done this, which is a small difference you may notice since Vince has left. But Michael Cole mentioned that Io Sky, along with her sister Mia Shirai and Asuka, were in a triple tag known as like Three Tails or something like that in New Japan or in the Japan wrestling companies. So they threw that fact out during the show, which I thought was pretty cool because you wouldn't see that with Vince McMahon and everything because you don't want to acknowledge that shit,
right?
Because it didn't happen to WWE. Liv Morgan retained her title against Baszler, and obviously Roman Reigns retained his title against Drew McIntyre. So we don't got to spend too much time on it because you didn't watch it.
No, how do you feel about Dominic and his recent actions?
That's right. They did have that tag team match they added. You know what? It was expected, I think. I think everyone saw kind of leaning that way. The stuff on Monday Night Raw was a little goofy with Ripley's implying that she hooked up with Dominic by making him a man. I think it is an interpretation thing. Like, I think if you go straight up to Ripley, like, oh, so you hooked up with Dominic, it's like, well, why would you assume that kind of thing? It's an interpretation thing. But I think everyone assumes that when you say, I made him a man, you fucking hooked up with Dominic. I'm fine with that. It's a little weird, but I think it's kind of cool how they added to Judgment Day. And I'm hoping that they continue to add Judgment Day. I hope they bring more, people into it. Especially a lot of rumors and stuff going on with people wanting to leave AEW. Like, I think I read that Bobby Fish is gone from there. I think Aleister Black is requesting his release from there. I think, or Malachi Black, however you want to refer to him, but Aleister Black would be great for Judgment Day. Buddy Murphy, I think would be great for Judgment Day. And I love Murphy. I think Murphy is one of my favorite guys to come out of the Cruiserweight, 205 Live. And they're still bringing guys back. Like I said, we just saw Braun Strowman come back on Monday. Still no word on the Fiend. I think Fiend is still the biggest one. People are trying to see where he's going to be, what's going to happen with him. But I'm excited for these returns. I'm excited they're bringing guys back who, even if they left in NXT, that they're showing up on Raw or SmackDown. I think Gargano is supposed to debut next Monday. So I'm pretty excited for that. But I'm happy with Judgment Day. Like I said, WWE has lacked a big faction on the main roster for quite some time. I know they tried it. It doesn't really stick. It doesn't really pan out. I know they had Seth Rollins' whole Monday Night Messiah thing. Theory was a part of that, but that was brief. He had Murphy, which was awesome, but it wasn't anything more than Rollins and Murphy and a little bit of Theory being there and shit like that. So to form a group, awesome. I think they just need to continue on to it. Adding Dominic was going to be awesome because it's going to add to Edge and Mysterio's story with him. But they just need more people. They just need to grow. Give me another Ministry of Darkness. Fuck it.
Hell yeah. I'll take that.
But I also think they need to they need a definitive leader as well. Because I don't think Balor is decided as the leader. I think he's just a member. I think they need a definitive leader to it. So, we'll see if they go down that path.
I mean, I could see the Bray Wyatt being the leader for sure.
Yeah, but I don't want him to come back as the Fiend. I want old Bray Wyatt back. I would love old Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They also had the NXT pay-per-view over the weekend. Worlds Collide. I caught a little bit of that. I didn't catch the whole thing. That was a pretty cool pay-per-view as well because they're unifying a lot of the titles. Saw Pretty Deadly unified the tag team championships in that fatal 4-way elimination match, or fatal 4-way tag team elimination match. I think Mandy Rose won the triple threat match. I can't quite remember. I could easily look it up. I don't want to at this point. I'd rather people correct me as they listen to the show. I don't know who won between Braun and Tyler Bates. But unifying these belts and everything were pretty cool. Ricochet's match against Carmelo was pretty awesome. I mean, I love Ricochet, and I think that he puts on a great match with whoever he does. I think his biggest problem is he's kind of like what people used to say Dolph Ziggler's issue is that he bumped too good. Like, he looks like when he got beat up, he just got the shit kicked out of him. That's kind of like what always held him down. I never quite understood that, but I heard that was like some speculation on why his career never like escalated. Because he always like, he looked like, he made it look good to get beat. But Ricochet is kind of like in the same boat, but at the same time, Ricochet has the ability to be a Rey Mysterio, a top guy as a champion. I don't know if I ever see him as an undisputed Universal WWE champion or whatever, but, a long run with the United States title or even the North American title, because I think we're getting to that point where the North American title could be equivalent to the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title. So we'll see. We don't know if Ricochet is permanent in NXT or if it was just a one shot to give Carmelo a different, wrestler or whatever, but Worlds Collide, from what I saw, was a good pay-per-view. So I definitely recommend checking that one out as well as Clash of the Castle Gambit. So
perfect.
Yeah. But not too much else happening in Western. I mean, there's other things happening between AEW, CM Punk doing some kind of post.
So much going on with that bullshit.
Yeah. I thought I heard someone breaking into my house.
Ooh, live. Only on the podcast.
Give me 1 second on.
All right. I think he's just still waking up from his nap. I think he's hearing things as he's looking out the door. False alarm. It's all in his head.
Yeah. Well, if they're in here, they're hiding, so. Anyway.
They don't want to interrupt the podcast. They know that.
Yeah, so they'll wait till I'm done to fucking kill me. Perfect. So, yeah, do you know anything that's going on with the CM Punk thing? I just read that he did an interview or a post-match thing, but I didn't read much more into it than that.
So reports were that during his post-match conference, whatever the fuck, apparently Cole Cabana was brought up, and I'm not sure if you know the history between those two. Once best friends, now they hate each other because of the lawsuit that was going on, whatever. Cole Cabana got his own lawyer.
That was so CM Punk was on Cole Cabana's podcast talking about his relief from WWE, And I think what happened was that CM Punk said so much shit against the trainers at WWE that they sued both of them.
Right.
CM Punk offered to pay for Colt Cabana's legal fees and everything, and then he never did. At least that's what the story was. I think that's what most was. And then Colt Cabana countersued Punk because Punk promised to do it, and he didn't.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
I mean, it's a whole mess.
Yeah.
But, so the name was brought up, but I'm seeing different sides of it. I read some shit about it saying someone at the press conference brought it up, but I saw a video clip of Punk calling somebody out that he knew in a journalist or whatever, and he mentioned, the dude mentioned, Colt Cabana's shoot name.
Yeah.
Scott, whatever the fuck. And then Punk just went on a tirade about it. So it sounds like Punk kind of just saw that as an opportunity to bitch about personal grievances. Because then there was rumors about the Young Bucks spreading rumors that Punk got Colt Cabana fired. So that was part of the reason for the altercation. And then Ace Steel got involved because he's Punk's best friend. And Kenny Omega got involved. Apparently Ace Steel bit his face or ear or something. What it sounds like is what I called a while ago. It seemed like a great idea for Punk to come to AEW. Yeah.
Yeah.
And debut in Chicago. Cool. It gives the Chicago fans some hope, you know? I get it. But Punk has that reputation of being a piece of shit. You've heard the stories.
Oh, yeah.
From multiple people. Even his own brother. So I said it could be a good thing, but with his past and his mind hasn't changed, it's going to be a toxic locker room. And what do you know? Almost a year later, it's a toxic fucking place to work now. And it's because of Punk. Now, we can't just speculate if Punk's the prick in this situation. We can only go by what we see, but we also know people. The people that have been around him. Mm-hmm. And he's known to being a piece of shit, so he could have started this shit. Yeah. There's no telling. We weren't there, and you can't always believe the dirt sheets, but
it sounds very similar to what was said about like Hulk Hogan when he went to WCW. He like made a really big name for himself at one company, just to go to another company and think, listen, you guys are all here. That's awesome. We got to keep in mind, I'm CM fucking Punk. You know, and maybe he doesn't mean to come off that way sometimes, but I met a lot of wrestlers from the 90s. Not all of them have an ego on them, but the few I met do. I don't want to name any names because I would like to get more people on this podcast, but, I mean, even like the early 2000s, like there's always, especially for me, I think I consider myself more of an outsider to the wrestling business than actually being in it. Regardless of my jokes about my time at the training school and everything and just the work I did at Elite Pro or even at SCW, I still consider myself like an outsider guy. Other than going to like the SCW schools, I don't really interact with people unless like I say, hey, you want to do an interview, shit like that. So I meet either really cool fucking people who are like, wow, you're nothing like your fucking character. You're an actually pretty cool dude to talk to and get along with. Or, wow, you're nothing like your character. You're kind of a piece of shit and you treat me as such. And I've met both. You know, and it just sucks knowing that You know, you got guys who are in AEW, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, people like that, who are establishing AEW as the next level of wrestling. And then you get someone like CM Punk who comes in and is like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to say what I want, whatever. And just kind of makes it difficult for the guys who run the show. Because you got to keep in mind, Young Bucks, I mean, they're still technically executives of AEW. You know,
Yep.
and I think I saw Tony Khan saying something about it was all a work, but I think that's just him trying to cover for something because it makes no fucking sense. But,
okay, so there is a small possibility that yes, this all could be a fucking work.
It could be,
and it would be smart.
What I said about Allen could be a fucking work, but we know it ain't true.
Right.
I mean, anything could be a fucking work, but it's just like when you would know, 1,000 times better than I do. You're able to tell what's a work and what's not. I mean, I could get a general idea, but you being in the business as long as you have, being around as many people as you have, you can kind of fucking tell, that's definitely not, that's more of a Phil Brooks, not a CM Punk.
Right. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell at times, because there's times where I can literally smell a work a mile away, kind of like the whole thing with Chris Rock and Will Smith. Biggest fucking working drama right now. But it's really hard to tell if it is a work because we know how Phil is in real life, just based on what we've heard.
Yeah, and I've read, I don't know if you had a chance to read the LWF book.
No, but I've heard stories and stuff from it. So
yeah, I bought the digital copy of it, and I was reading through it and everything, mostly because I just want to read more about my cousin's career, and he's in it a lot. But so is CM Punk, and it talks about how his attitude was and everything, and there was actually, I think there was a part in it that it was because of him that my cousin didn't get a win for the title. Like, he thought that Mike wasn't ready for it or some shit, but apparently he did that shit all the time because he wanted to be the guy. Like, he wanted to be the top guy. He's like, oh no, we could work this out. We could push this for months and months and months or whatever like that. And Billy Wagner says, we don't need to. Like, Acid's ready. But Punk didn't want to. That creative control shit, which I know isn't really a thing in, independent wrestling. There's no contractual creative control or whatever. But yeah, no, you're in independent wrestling. You're not contracted. You take your ball and fucking go home. Ruin it for everyone else and shit. And that book kind of paints a picture of how CM Punk was, and like I said, there was a moment where I would love to have gone up to him at C2E2 and tell him hey, I used to wrestle my cousin. I saw you wrestle, at the back end of LWF and everything before you went to WWE and all this other shit. I just didn't want to because I didn't want to meet the guy that I assume he really is. I'd rather see him as the guy who I think he is, and
right.
And I know that he'll put on a good face and everything. If I just went to him and say, hey, can I get your autograph? I love your wrestling. Thanks, kid, blah, 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 whatever. But I know as soon as I mention LWF, he's not going to want to talk about that. As soon as I mention fucking Acid, he's not going to give a shit about that. I can tell him everything that I'd be excited about, but he wouldn't give a shit about.
Right.
And I don't want to fucking have to sit there and meet somebody like that.
I mean, okay, we were not around during personally, we're not there to see what happened. Yeah, we know a lot of people and we trust them, so we can take them by their word, but at the same time, there's just that part of me that as the wrestling fan, I look past that shit, and I do enjoy his work on TV. He surprised the shit out of me when he returned against
Darby?
What's his name? Darby Allin, yeah. And I didn't think he could do it, being gone for so long and then losing that momentum when he got his ass beat in UFC twice.
Yep.
But he surprised me, and I was glad to see him perform in the ring. But as for Phil, at this point, Phil can go suck an egg, I mean, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we'll see more outcomes from AEW as it goes forward. I think people are more and more looking for the way possibly back to WWE under Triple H. So we'll see who resigns, who doesn't. Like I said, Malachi Black, it has been rumored that he's looking for his release, which that'd be a big surprise. But there's also speculation that he's just asking for his release, not only because, first off, he's not a big fan of the creative that his character is going under at AEW, but it's not saying that he wants to leave to go back to WWE. He wants to leave because he wants time off because of shit going on in his life. So,
right.
Just because he leaves AEW doesn't mean he's going to WWE, but we see a lot of returns happening at WWE that would just speculate that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in the next year or so, Undisputed Era is back on fucking WWE. Adam Cole, O'Reilly, Fish, Roderick Strong's still there. I see it as, like, I think they'll end up coming back and they'll go on to the main roster and shit because they're going to be under the control of Triple H, not Vince McMahon, who wants to change Adam Cole's name to something else because Michael Cole's already fucking there. So.
There were so many, like, double names back in the day, so what the fuck? Just deal with it.
Right. Steve Austin, Steve Blackman.
Right.
Yeah. But let's talk about independent wrestling because we got some stuff to cover.
Oh, we definitely do. I think, say from here on out, when it comes to SCW, since SCW is kind of our home for JFW in a way, why don't we save them for the main event? As always, no matter what.
I'm good with that.
SCW is a topic. They are the main event of JFW.
I'm good with that.
All right.
It's the least we could do for them.
And they put on one hell of a show, let me tell you.
Oh, they did. Her show was a great show.
Let's see. Where do I want to start? Here's a good one. I have some POW results.
Yay!
Now I'm going to keep in mind here, these are probably the quickest results you'll ever hear on this podcast. Ever. And it's just POW. It's POW. So POW results are as follows. Fuck POW. POW sucks. Chris Hedford is a bitch. Referee Brian Allen is a hoe. Fuck POW. Thank you. Oh, and see you at WrestleTopia, bitches. And that's all I got for POW.
Pardon me, because WrestleTopia is next week.
Right.
As we're recording this, it is next week on the 17th. Part of me really wants to try to get Jimmy Blaze onto this podcast before next week. Well, not before next week, but before the show next week. I would like to get him on next week's show.
I say give it a shot.
Like, part of me would love to do. You know what? I'm gonna message him. Just to see what the fuck would happen. Because, I mean, like, I don't want to be totally unbiased. I mean, they did, jump you guys at the school on a Sunday during the high voltage shows. So I feel like he kind of owes me an apology for that. But we heard so much from the SCW side. Maybe we should hear some POW stuff. So let me see if well, first I gotta find him because I don't even think we're friends on Facebook. But while I'm doing this, Rocket Pro, is that the next one?
Well, I'm gonna start out with because I don't have complete information on this show. Northern Lights returns this Saturday. Oh. Our buddy EJ Jensen, Seamus O'Frisbee, Captain Frisbee,
Chuck Frisley.
Chuck Frisbee. That is it. All right, you heard it. Now, fans, please remember the name Chuck Frisbee. Every time I can never remember, but when I first hear it, it is there in my mind. They return this Saturday at the Godley Park District in Godley, Illinois. It's 500 Kankakee Street. Now, this was just mentioned this week, or late last week, all tickets are just $10. Normally they are more, but for this show it is just $10 for everybody. Kids 10 and under, whatever, all $10. Adults, senior citizens, all of you're $10. Just $10. That's it. They got good food. I think they serve beer. Maybe, possibly. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
If it's at the same location that they normally do it at, like Godly, like Rec Center or whatever, then I know they have vodka lemonades there, because I did have a vodka lemonade there from one point.
Well, there will be concessions and all that happy stuff. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is 6:30. I don't have any matches listed because one thing I do know is matches don't get announced until that day. But on the flyer, you do see Ewok, EJ Jensen, of course, Tyler Sullivan, Pitstain, the Trog, Mikey Wild, and just announced the other day, Scott Spade and Mistress Misery.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
So it's shaping up to be a fun show. I'm sorry that I'm going to miss it because I do love being down there. But I got other faces to kick, Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to catch up with Fat Eddie, Chuck Frisbee, however you want to refer to him as.
Oh, and apparently referee Brian Allen will be there too. But whatever. He's just taking my spot for the night. Even though I'm kind of doing both there, wrestling and reffing. I did wrestle, last year I wrestled Beetlestain, which is Pitstain, but he was Beetlejuice for a Halloween show. I was supposed to be the referee for his match, but he kind of bullied me, pushed me down, and said, go get me my opponent and a new ref. So I got him a new ref, and I got him an opponent, which was me.
You know who I like down there? God, I think it's Jack Carpenter.
Jack Carpenter, another elitist.
I love that fucking dude. I don't know him personally. I never met him outside of like watching him wrestle. I just like him wrestling. I think he's pretty fucking good.
I believe he'll be there as well.
I believe it.
An Elite Pro, I guess we'll call him alumni. He was there towards the end.
Yeah, I don't remember him. I think he showed up.
Mohawk Jones. He was Mohawk Jones. He refereed as a Mohawk.
He
might have been gone.
He probably came in after I was gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind though. I think I was gone like November, December of 2008. No, 2009. One of those two.
Might have been 2008.
Probably 2008. 2008 sounds about right. Because when did the Elite Pro go down? 2009, 10?
Later. Yeah, later in 2009. So it might have been early 2008.
Yeah. Sad days indeed.
Well, yeah, that's Northern Lights. So check that show out if you are in the Godly area. Let's move on to ARW, which is on the other side of the border in Indiana, Lake Station, Indiana, to be specific. They return this Saturday. American Legion Post 100, 1899 Central Avenue in Lake Station, Indiana. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time 7. And tickets, $10. Just $10. Only a 10 spot. Here, give it 10. And hey, if you have a 20, pay for the person behind you. Pay it forward. Hey, maybe they'll buy you nachos or candy. Kit Kat. Can't go wrong with a Kit Kat.
Fucking nachos.
Let's see. One of the matches on the card is the Golden Ticket Gauntlet. And it features Excalibur, the undeniable Nick Diamond, Marcelo Spade, Leon, or is it Lex? I might have spelled it wrong, whatever. Lennon Leon, sure, I think that's right. And Max Holiday.
Nice.
I believe it's Lennox Leon, now that I think about it. I forgot the X.
It could be. It could be. Now, this is the match, or at least this is the prize of the match that gave Cutler his current title reign.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 competitors in this match. Who do you think? Who do you think will win?
Oh, Holiday.
Holiday all the way?
I'm always going to go Holiday, man. Come on. Former 3-time SCW heavyweight champ. Longest reigning SCW heavyweight champ. Max fucking High. Yeah, the fucking bearded bruiser. Boot named Sue. Yeah, he'll come out on top.
I want to agree. I do want to agree, but I'm not sure who I think will win, but I don't
Current
think
POW champion? Come on now.
Well, here's my reasoning for this.
Okay.
Here's my reason why Max Holiday won't win.
Gotcha.
The workhorses are in the building. They have a problem with the Scumbag Army. I think they'll have some sort of play in this match when it involves Max Holiday. And also they're gonna get the upper hand on Youth Gone Wild by doing this. That's just a little thought in the back of your head.
So there's a tag team called Youth Gone Wild.
Right.
What is their theme song entrance?
It's exactly what you probably think it is.
Skid Row?
Yeah, but it's like a different version of it, I think.
Oh, bitches. No, I have the original Skid Row.
They had the original when they were a team in PCW, I believe. I just think they spiced it up a bit maybe now.
Gotcha.
I don't really listen to the theme music anymore.
What? Oh, God. I love it when they fucking go classic, man. Oh, man. Theme music is what makes a fucking tag team. Like, if you don't have a good entrance, you're not fucking selling me on shit.
Right.
You gotta have good entrance fucking music.
I just don't pay attention as much as when I'm at the shows, I'm kind of being the fan where I'm running my mouth more than anything. So I'm not hearing shit but my own mouth. So.
Dude, the only thing I like about fucking Terry Allen is his entrance song. That's it. I could give or take the rest of the motherfucker. As long as he comes out to that song, I'm a happy fucking camper. I don't like seeing him, but I like hearing the fucking music that he's coming out to. Because theme music makes a fucking wrestler. I mean, if you come out to shit, I don't buy you as a fucking guy. I don't give a shit. Like, no fucking way.
Shit. A singles match that was just added today. Joey Dalton of the Death Wish versus Isaiah Moore. Never heard of him? So,
no, he doesn't sound familiar. Could be a debut.
Yeah, it could be a debut. Let's see. Indiana State Championship. The BOW versus the Lunatic. Lunatic won this shot last month.
Yeah.
In that, what was it, a fatal 4-way? Or no, it was a triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
He went in a triple threat match. So this match should be interesting. Will Lunatic take the gold? Well, if you're in the Lake Station area, only one way to find out. Let's see here. Since we did talk about part of it already.
Well, there's technically two ways they can find out. They can either go and watch it on Saturday or listen to us talk about it the following week.
Bazinga.
Now, as much as I love us doing this podcast, it doesn't compare to watching wrestling live.
Right.
I mean, that's the better option. Go to watch the show, get your fill of it, and then come listen to us and kind of recap it along with us. It's like the best option.
Where I have a good option.
Yeah.
For this weekend anyway.
Yeah.
Come watch me wrestle this Saturday in Joliet, even though the show starts 2 hours earlier.
Oh, there you go.
Watch ARW on YouTube, and then listen to us talk about the shows on JFW.
That's right. That's right.
But that seems like a lot of work to me.
Doesn't seem like much work to Travis.
Travis T can do it all. He does it all.
Yeah.
In less than 8 minutes.
I just sit here on top of my throne, man. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just some piece of shit nobody, bro. I'm just growing shitty trees.
Let's see here. Since we did bring it up already, it's supposedly a 6-man tag street fight between the Workhorses and Youth Gone Wild.
Okay.
There's only 2 members of Youth Gone Wild. Now, they are members of the Scumbag Army. But the rest of Scumbag Army cannot be at ringside or compete in this match. Per the deal that was made last month. So, will there be a 3rd man? Or will they go against the Workhorses 3-on-2?
Oh, it's gotta be Power Hour Steve.
You know, you are not the only one that said that. But unfortunately, Power Hour Steve will not be there.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we know, because it will be mentioned why later. I'm gonna say I've seen the list of people that have contacted Youth Gone Wild.
Yeah.
To be in this match, because Workhorses have a lot of enemies. And I'm looking at the list, and I'm like, there's plenty of possibilities. But who knows if Youth Gone Wild's gonna pick any of them. Right. They might just go in there and 3-on-2. It's a street fight. So Youth Gone Wild may just have extra plunder in their hand.
Yeah. But there's one thing to consider too. Because we gotta sit here and think like, oh shit, maybe they're only going into a 2-on-3 situation. Maybe they'll get a 3rd guy. You can't take away from the fact that maybe they'll get the upper hand at the beginning of the show and take out one of the Workhorses and make it even 2-on-2.
That's also the possibility.
Right? You know what that's called? It's called good booking.
You're such a good booker.
Oh God, yeah, I am. I know shit.
Let's see. The last match I have on the docket, the Heavyweight Championship rematch. Nick Cutler defends his title against Dave Allen. And the referee for this match will not be BJ Porter.
God, thank God.
Will not be Flat Top. Will not be the other referee whose name I don't remember. I do apologize. It's actually
what is his name? Like Tutor or something like that?
Mike Tutor or something? But
yeah.
Is that his referee name?
I don't give a fuck.
It is. Hey, referee Mike, you're not in the match either.
You send me a friend request and it doesn't give me your wrestling name unless you tell me your wrestling name. That's who you are.
There you go. Well, either way, none of the regular referees will be refereeing this match.
Okay.
It's going to end up being the mayor of Lake Station.
Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that should be fun. I hope he's been watching me, referee, because I'm the best referee in town. So
I'm excited to see how fast his counts are.
Yeah. He seems like a guy who would fast count.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not like BJ Porter.
He just wants to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Like, he's like, well, let's wrap it up here. Do some moves. Let's go.
And then lastly, Ivan Manson will be there, I assume, with the rest of the family. Yeah. He will address his future in pro wrestling.
Yeah, obviously he's currently not booked in any matches at ARW as of right now for Saturday. We know what what's ahead for him and everything, and obviously at the end of the interview we did with him last week, we mentioned who he wanted his last match to be against and stuff like that, and 2 names have been popped up, and as far as I know right now, he hasn't got a response from either one. So, And he did clarify for us that even though his last appearance is at November's ARW, excuse me, his last match is October at ARW. So, if you guys want to see Ivan's last match, you gotta look for the October booking, because at November is Black and
Blue,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's not wrestling. He's just addressing the crowd for the final time and everything. So don't think that Wednesday in November is going to be his last match. His last match is in October. So keep updated on the date for that show so you know to go see it.
Right. What was I had something in my head and then I lost it. I hate when that happens.
You gotta do a better job. You gotta know I can interrupt you at any time, bro.
I know.
Was it an Ivan thing? Was it a family thing? Something about his match? Something about him retiring?
I don't remember.
He's gotta do a Terry?
But here's a fun fact that I just thought of. One of the guys that Ivan mentioned to wrestle was actually my first trainer.
Bishop?
Yep.
Nice.
You first one to train me. He does not remember who the fuck I am, but that's okay.
How dare
I will always remember his training.
How dare you not remember you? I remembered you.
Of course you did.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe it was because you got hit in the head. I don't know. Well, that's a wrap on those shows. Let's dive in to Rocket Pro Wrestling. This Saturday, September 10th, at St. Joseph's Park, 700 Theodore Street in Joliet. Doors open at 4 p.m. Bell time at 5 p.m.
Now, isn't Rocket Pro normally on Sunday?
No. They're always Saturday.
But it's in the afternoon?
Like early evening, late afternoon, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
You're probably thinking about Ileana Pro Wrestling. They're always Sunday.
That's right, yeah, okay.
But they have an affiliation, which I will talk about as we go through. Right. All tickets are at the door. No advance tickets. Front row is $20. General admission is $15. Again, doors open at 4, bell time 5. On time. They are really strict on this. They start the video package and introductions to the commentary team and a ring announcer just before 5 o'clock and all that other stuff, and then they go right into the show, whether it's going to be a first match or a promo.
Who's the ring announcer?
Too Sweet Tim.
Nice.
Timmy Too Sweet. And commentary, of course, is your buddy Steve.
Joy.
Shelly. And some other guy once in a while. I don't remember his name. So I do apologize. Alright, let's start here. Fatal 4-Way, which has been changed twice. Originally, let's just go with it. Ryan Matthews versus Aaron Stone versus Quinn Whittock. Now versus Dustin Mack. Originally Just Amazing, who took the place of somebody else that I mentioned a while ago. I don't remember who it was. See, I am really bad remembering things. But because this has been changed twice already, it doesn't matter because you got Dustin Mack in there now. This is a qualifying match for the Rocket to the Top ladder match, which takes place at Harvest Havoc in November. And I'm sure you know who Ryan Matthews is at this point, right? He's the cutout, timeout guy. Triple threat.
I know.
We have a triple threat match. Now, originally, this was supposed to be a singles match between Impact star Jason Hotch and Marshe Rockett. Well, now it's a triple threat match with Nick Brubaker just added. And the winner will be number 20 in the Rocket Rumble.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Brubaker, current Dreamwave champion?
No, that's Vic Capri.
Vic Capri. Same fucking person.
Well, now we don't know what's going to happen with Vic Capri because he just originally posted that he's had his second concussion within the last year or so, or last few months, and he might be out a few months. So does that mean he's not going to defend this title?
Well, they Dreamwave announced that they're going to be more consistent, more regular now. So that's a good point. You know, there are a lot of companies that if you don't defend your title next amount of days, it's vacated.
Yep. Even during a pandemic, just ask Vic Capri on that one. Steve, stripped him of the title because he couldn't compete when he got injured, but he got injured during COVID time. But hey, good old Steve, right?
That sounds like a Steve move.
We have an open challenge match. Flash Harris has an open challenge for his inter-county championship. That's assuming Flash Harris even shows up.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't show up, ever. And then when he does, and he somehow defends his title, he cheats anyway. He's a bit of an asshole. That's right, Flash. You're an asshole. You're not going to show up. We have the Battle of the Giants match. Cody James versus the Chicago Bear Hug, Steve Michaels.
The Chicago Bear Hug, Steve Michaels.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta look him up. I know you talked about him. I think he was probably on a match card like last month that you mentioned him, and I was like, I gotta look that dude up.
If you want, you go to the Rocket Pro Facebook page. There is a video of him cutting a promo on Cody James.
Ooh. Rocket Pro Wrestling presents Fall Brawl.
Yes, sir. Maybe I should have mentioned that. The show is called Fall Brawl. I'm good, but
there it is. There it is.
Is Steve Michaels. And this has been a very busy summer for Steve Michaels. See, after traveling from Florida to Honolulu and everywhere in between, Steve Michaels is coming back to Joliet, Illinois for Rocket Pro Wrestling. And my sights are set on Cody James. See, Steve Michaels has been doing tape study. I've been doing film review. I know you very well. But there's one problem. You're no Steve Michaels. So this Saturday at St. Joe's Park, Steve Michaels is going to come in and do exactly what he does best. I am going to deliver a Chi-Town beatdown in front of that crowd. And two things are going to be inevitable. One, at the end of the night, you will have been beaten decisively. And I will continue to show why I am the most dominant man to ever step foot in an RPW ring. And most importantly, two, Steve Michaels comes home.
Can I tell you something that's kind of like a side note as far as that promo goes?
Sure.
He got his point across without yelling, which I've noticed a lot of guys do in promos nowadays are fucking yelling into the camera. Mm-hmm. Like the volume of their voice is important. And to anyone out there who's listening to me, it's kind of like a behind the scenes aspect, just from my opinion. You don't have to take it because who the fuck am I? It's not about how loud you say something. It's about how you say something in a promo. So I get that you want to get energy into the promos, but you don't have to fucking yell every single time. If you're worried that your voice isn't coming through in the camera, move closer to the camera. Because to yell into the camera it just gets annoying over and over and over again. So just a word of advice to people out there who want to cut promos, who are maybe fairly new to it, you don't have to yell. I've seen dozens of promos by fucking Acid, Hunter Payne. There's not really a lot of yelling, and they get their point across. It's just weird. I just wanted to make that note because that fucking dude. First off, that's a narrative voice. That's a sexy fucking voice. If your jeans don't get tight from hearing that fucking voice, there's something wrong with you. But the fact that he just fucking spoke, wasn't yelling, and he was outside. You heard shit around him, but he still came through clear without yelling. That's power. So I encourage all those out there who are working on promos, stop yelling. You don't need to fucking yell. Just don't yell.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. I like that dude.
You're not Hulk Hogan, brother. Don't scream.
Everyone wants to be fucking Hulk Hogan or the Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. But that's cool. I think him and James are going to put a good match on.
Oh, it's going to be great. Where am I at? Okay. The tag team titles are also on the line as the Idols. Damian Gray and Johnny Nye, who I assume will be accompanied by Joey Roth and Roxy Hart.
Joey Roth was the one that just joined, right?
No.
Didn't somebody just join Giles not too long ago?
Yeah. I'm gonna get to that at the end.
Oh, okay. So I'm jumping. Okay, that's on me. That's on me.
I'll tell the story.
That's on me. I'll just go back to eat my cucumbers and onions. Go ahead.
Speaking of the Idols, before I mention the rest of this match, they are going to open up the show and talk and probably gloat because they are running Rocket Pro Wrestling. But anyway, those two particular Idols, Damian Gray and Johnny Nye, will be taking on No Coast, Joey Blues, and Brian Krazer. And tag team titles are on the line. No Coast and Joey Blues and Brian Krazer of No Coast, they haven't been seeing eye to eye lately. So this is going to be an interesting match and if they will be able to coexist or not, we don't know. Ever since they lost the titles, they've been at each other's throats. I mean, even when they, I guess, retained the titles against Youth Gone Wild by disqualification, ever since then, they've been falling apart. So Youth Gone Wild's been just doing shit here and there and, but the Isles defend their titles against them, so we'll see how this plays out. But I don't see No Coast winning if they don't coexist. Especially when you got Joey Roth out there being an asshole as usual. And his evil temptress of a wife will be there, so let's see. For the heavyweight title, champion Christian Rose of those damn Coyotes will be defending his championship against Grin. You know who Grin is.
Grin and Barrett Grin.
Yes, sir.
DWA Grin.
LWF Grin.
Yeah.
TCW Grin, but mostly LWF.
He's when DWA came around, was it 2019? They had their first show.
Yes.
That was like his first time back after a while, right? Like he was kind of just done.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Well, good for him. You know, fucking A. Good for him. I like him, yeah. I mean, I've only seen him in DWA shows and everything, but I mean, I like the dude. I like the gimmick. I don't know if I ever saw him in LWF. If I do, I don't remember him.
You don't remember the 3 rings with Machine, the Ringmaster?
Is that a group?
Yeah.
The only group I remember in LWF, I can't remember the name of the group, but there was this big ass dude named Charcoal and this small ass dude named Pet.
Which was Tristan Hayes, by the way.
I have no idea what their real names were. I just know that there was a group of people, and those were 2 of the members of the group. I don't remember the name of the group.
I don't remember. I remember seeing them too. Yeah, Charcoal and Pet. But he was Pet at the time. Tristan Hayes didn't come until later, but yeah, I remember, and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I told you the story about Charcoal and my dad, right?
No.
I can't remember what match. They were in a match or some shit. Somebody hit Charcoal in the head with a chair, and he fell over the guardrail into my dad's lap. And my dad swears to me to this day, it was like, yeah, you know, that big dude was looking up at me, asking me for help, and I'm like, I can't help you. I'm like, I'm sure he did that, but yeah, he's just like, he's a big fucking dude. He reminded me of Bam Bam Bigelow.
Right.
So fucking much. But like when it comes to LWF, like the only people I remember from LWF is Charcoal and Pet, Acid, Supreme. I remember Supreme probably more than anyone else. Magnificent Mike. I think Magnificent Mike was in like a team called like the Frat Boys or some shit like that.
With Johnny Mac.
Yeah. And then obviously Jay Jensen, I remember. Billy Whack, I remember. But outside of those guys, a lot of people, like, I don't remember. And you gotta keep in mind though, like, when I saw LWF, I mean, fuck, you're talking about like 15, 16 years ago. So it's like, I mean, probably even fucking longer than that. Actually, yeah, it is. You're talking about like almost like 20, no, not 20. Yeah, probably about 16, 17 years ago.
I'll say because I started going to independent wrestling in 2001.
We'll say 25. I'm going to say 25 years ago.
Yeah.
That's not like 97, 98-ish. I'm going to say about 25, 26 years ago. So for me to remember those people from that point, and I think the only reason I remember those people is because Mike had a birthday party for his then girlfriend and invited LWF to the party. And my brother had a ball cap, and I think he still has the hat somewhere. And it's signed by all these LWF dudes. And they had this dry erase board, and I was a fucking mark back then. They had this dry erase board where people wrote shit on and everything. And I remember specifically, I wrote on there, the real deal is a big deal. And everyone thought that was the coolest fucking thing, but no one knew who wrote it. And I was like, I fucking wrote that shit. I didn't even know who the fuck Jay Jensen was. I just remember somebody saying like Jay Jensen's like the real deal Jay Jensen. I'm like, oh, he must be a big deal. The real deal's a big deal. I gotta see if my brother has that fucking hat, because like everybody fucking signed that thing. Like there are signatures all over that fucking hat. I was like, I gotta fucking find that hat. I gotta ask him. Okay. But yeah, no. But as far as like Grin, there's no recollection of him in LWF whatsoever. But anyways, go ahead. So Grin's facing for the Rocket Pro title.
Yep, against Christian Rose. So there's that, and then we got the 20-man Rocket Rumble. The winner gets a heavyweight title shot, and yours truly is in that Rumble.
Oh, nice.
That's right. And Rumbles are my specialty. I may not always win them, but when I do, it's a special time.
They're my specialty. I may not always win. Oh, perfect. That's like Undertaker with Hell in a Cells. Dude's fucking in all of them. Barely wins them.
When he wins,
But when he
it's
wins.
special. So, I guess I'll talk about this real quick and how I got into Rocket Pro because it's actually an interesting story. I mean, I've probably told you a bit, but I haven't talked about it. Okay. So they have the affiliation with the Indiana Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And as you may have remembered or known, I beat Joey Roth, not once, but twice. I beat him in the tournament for the medallion.
Okay. Yeah. I remember
that. In under 5 minutes.
Yep.
I will always have that. And then the second time I beat him, it was for, at the time, the Indiana Pro Wrestling Chicagoland Championship. But how that happened, Rocket Pro Wrestling was in the process of purchasing the Chicagoland title from Indiana Pro Wrestling. So I'm at IPW headquarters, just doing my thing, and I overheard a conversation.
Yeah.
About what they're going to be doing, but there was an issue. They were afraid that Joey Roth was not going to hand over the title willingly.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, I walked in the door. I'm like, I may have an idea. How about you put me against Joey Roth again? And if I can beat him for the title, I will hand you the Chicagoland Championship at Rocket Pro. So, the match happened. I defeated Joey Roth, and I became the final IPW Chicagoland champion. And up until the Rocket Pro show, I was the champ. So, for a couple of weeks, I was legit a champion. Well, I mean, it goes down in the record books anyway. So, I got that. And I beat Joey Roth. My only 2 matches that I've won in IPW were against, and I won. Were against Joey Roth. So I got that going for me. I might have been losing ever since, but hey, I beat Joey Roth. I dethroned the ruler of IPW. So I brought the title to Rocket Pro, and part of the deal was I get to maybe have a chance to win it back.
Yeah.
But it would be for the first time under Rocket Pro. So I was put in a fatal 4-way against Garrison Creed, Just Amazing, and Rockin' Riviera. I was in the middle of getting ready to win. I had Rockin' down, but that damn Joey Roth came out, had the referee, and somehow gave Rockin' my nunchucks. And when I turned around, knocked me out with my own weapon. And which this answers your question. Rockin' ended up being the new member of the Idols.
Gotcha.
And he competed in Flash Harris's spot because he didn't show up in the Survivor Series type match where the Idols won and are now in charge of Rocket Pro.
Gotcha. Okay. Nubby, you live a life, brother. You live.
Some say I don't have a life, but
here's the thing though. You don't have a lot of stories, but every story you have is a good fucking story, and that's what life is about. I'd rather have 10 good stories. No question. I'd rather have 10 great stories than like 100 decent stories. Yeah, it's fucking like minimum stories that are incredible is a lot more than an abundance of stories that are, okay, I didn't, cool, whatever. You're just trying to fill a gap. Mm-hmm. So fuck those who say you don't have a life, man. You take fucking life and you make it incredible. Look what you're doing here at JFW.
That's right.
Power Hour could have had this, but they don't.
Nope.
JFW's got this shit.
That's right. They got me.
Yeah.
So,
Steve.
So with that, I am now officially, not only am I in this Rumble, but I'm an active member of the roster for at least this season of Rocket Pro. And there is some things in mind, and things are going to be cooking. So you're going to see some interesting things, or maybe some amazing turtley things, if you know what I mean.
So now, I don't know how you decide this or not, but Rocket Pro strictly as a wrestler, as a competitor, or are you splitting your time as a ref as well?
Oh, I am strictly 100% a competitor.
Awesome. Fuck yeah. Good for you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate Rocket Pro doing that for you because, you know, like you do a great job as a referee, but you said it before, like you want to be in the ring more. You want to compete more. It's awesome that Rocket Pro's giving you the opportunity to do that.
And I am 100% grateful that they're doing this for me because, you know, not many have. Some gave me tidbits here and there. Some were, I guess, apprehensive on bringing me in as the turtle. I mean, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but I'm going to anyway because it's kind of a funny story. You know, back before I joined SCW, I went to talk to Hunter after a show, and I was kind of talking about it, and before I even mentioned the turtle gimmick, he actually brought it up. Yeah. And when he brought it up, though, it was kind of like he was irked by it, like he didn't really want it. It was probably one of those things where he was still he didn't know me that well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we met back in Elite Pro, but so much time between has passed. So, and he's seen me do it once. I did it in the Battle Royal, back in 2017, 2018, whatever. But I think it was just probably one of those funny moments though, because now look what I'm doing. I mean, he wants me to do it. Obviously right now with the referee situation, he can't have me, you know, wrestling right now. I get it, whatever, and other stuff. But it was just funny how, like, he was irked by it at first, and then all of a sudden it changed once he got to know me and got to actually see it. Because he got to see me perform at the school. Yeah. And despite me being not so athletic and not in the greatest shape, especially then, because I was about 20 pounds heavier than I am now, and I was still going through, like, health issues at the time, but I still fought through it all. But yeah, that's kind of a funny thing that happened. But I said,
so what you're saying is he changed his mind when he saw you compete at high voltage.
Right.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You know.
You booked me, and look what happened.
Opportunities. That's what I love about high voltage. It's opportunities. It's not Terry just handing out fucking matches to his friends. Opportunities, Nubby.
I appreciate the opportunity.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I prefer Nubby over Turtle. But Turtle's what's going to put fucking butts in the seats.
I mean, Nubby can be a turtle.
You're a fan favorite to the kids, and in some ways, you know, look at the fucking audience. Kid-friendly competition. And that's what the turtle brings, you know, excitement to fucking kids. But you're also an ass kicker, you know?
I kick ass for the shell of it.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, John DeYoung. All right. That's the end of that. Rocket Pro this weekend. Go to their website, rocketprowrestling.com. Facebook page, whatever. Social media is out there for more information on all the shows and all the good stuff. It's going to be fun. Oh, by the way, they have pizza and concessions. And beer.
What kind of pizza?
All kinds of pizza.
I mean, like, is it cut into like squares or is it like a triangle? It's got
it's a triangle. It's a triangle.
Fuck yeah. I got a pizza place in town here, and they just naturally cut the pizza in like squares and shit like that. And one day I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you cut it in triangles? And they're like, what? I'm like, you heard me. Fucking game changer, bro.
All right. That's all I got for normal tit talk. I believe it's SCW time. We had a show this past weekend in Herscher.
Fucking Herscher. First time in Herscher. Good turnout. I was very impressed with it for being the first time there.
Yes, it was. I was like shocked because we didn't know for sure what was going to happen. Yeah. Kind of a last minute show ish. I mean, there was a couple weeks and that's kind of enough time, but
yeah,
with everything going on with Labor Day weekend and shit, damn, we had a good crowd.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very happy with how it turned out. It was very good. And it was a good match. It was a good show. All around it. Great show.
Mm-hmm.
But you got the match card, you got the results. I mean, I do too. That's what I was doing on my phone when fucking Steve was all like, Travis, you can't be on your phone during the show. It's like, I'm sorry. I was on my phone during the boring parts when he was in the fucking ring talking.
And who stuck up for you?
Good man. Good man. He just sat there in his stupid blinking shoes with his stupid blinking glasses, just sitting there all frumpy, like just a lump on a log, just like.
You know what makes us better than them?
Everything.
Well, there's one major thing.
Yeah,
we stick up for each other, but we also call out each other's shit. Mm-hmm. We tell each other when we're wrong, when the other person's wrong.
Yeah, you need to. You do. I'm not 100% right all the time, and I got no problem being corrected.
You know who does and who doesn't over there? Steve. Steve doesn't. C-Red will tell him he's wrong all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, shit, when it comes to C-Red could tell fucking Steve, yeah, you know, that grass looks like a pretty good shade of blue. And Steve will be like, oh yeah, the bluest.
Yep.
The bluest C-Red. No, I want to be caught out of my bullshit. I'm okay with it. I'm man enough to admit when I have errors, and I do it quite often. And I appreciate people correcting me. I mean, it opens a door to me correcting you, but you know what? It's what it is.
I also thought it was a good opportunity to, promote the show.
For that.
So I used the situation. All right. So we had a great show, good card. Yeah. Let's start out with the Cobra versus the Hawaiian Hitman. Ended up being a double count out. You watched that match as Flat Top was the referee. What are your thoughts?
It was everything I expected it to be. The ending was unfortunate, and I know Steve came out later and explained what happened. Obviously, there was an injury to Koa at the end there that kind of prevented them to getting back to the ring. But I mean, it was hard. It was a hard-hitting match as expected. The Hitman, who has made his presence very well known since the first match here at SCW. To put him up against a guy like Cobra, I mean, he's not being like, like slowly brought in. He's being put against guys, like an actual competition, show after show after show. And he's holding his own, which is beyond incredible. Cobra, I think, was the biggest test to him so far. And I think it was a good warm-up match coming into WrestleTopia next week. I just don't know what this injury, how severe the injury is for him, how that's going to affect this coming up WrestleTopia. But I don't think that's going to be the last time those two step in the ring together one-on-one. And I pray to God it isn't, because I would like to see an actual through match. Hopefully both of them staying healthy through the whole thing and giving the fans what they want. And that's an incredible Cobra-Koa, matchup.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The next match, I want to call it teacher versus student in a way, because originally, this guy, Santana Starks, did train VIP at Anarchy. If you remember Anarchy, Santana Starks was VIP's original trainer before he came to SCW.
No, did not know that. Interesting.
Yep. Santana Starks ended up getting the win via submission. There was kind of a hard-hitting match too. And this has been a while since Santana Starks has been in SCW, so it's good to see him back. He doesn't like Steve very much either.
Steve mentioned he had some issues with him.
Apparently he doesn't like his glasses. I don't know.
The goofy glasses he wears all the time for no reason whatsoever?
Something like that. I don't know. But, their VIP's lawyer, some guy, Esquire the Third, whatever the fuck it. You kind of look like Big Boss Travis T.
Even though it is stupid for me to wear glasses right now inside the house, how great do I fucking make them look, though?
Pretty badass.
I know, right? It's just like, even to make fun of fucking Steve, I still make this look fucking incredible. Oh, man. Alright, anyways.
So, yeah, VIP tapped out to Santana's submission.
Now, we've only seen a small sample size of the lawyer being with VIP.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen any victories happen yet. Do you think that maybe this lawyer is kind of a waste of money? Now, obviously, he's contractually obligated. We don't know what's in the contract, but he is contractually obligated to the representation that he has from this lawyer. But the lawyer hasn't shown that he's worth anything if VIP keeps picking up losses.
And not only that, let's keep in mind, VIP also aligned himself with the Sheik.
Yeah.
And prior to that, when VIP was by himself, he wasn't winning many matches either. So maybe VIP needs to take a different route. If the lawyer and Sheik are not going to help him, I mean, come on, I beat VIP.
Fucking Nubby. He's got to do something. He's a great competitor. I think he just gets too full of himself and he just blows it.
Those Boston guys, man. I mean,
oh God, those blue blood pedigree types really. He just gets full of himself in those matches. He just needs to take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Arrogance will bite you in the ass every time.
Yep. Speaking of arrogance, the next match. Bulletproof Bo Anderson.
Making his return. It's been quite some time.
Oh, yes. And he took on Adam Cage, which Adam Cage took the victory.
Which is astounding because the last time we saw Bo Anderson in SCW was Bulletproof LLC, with both Keith and VJ Price both being on his side. Now he comes back. How long later? Keith's still here, VJ Price still here, but not in the same way that Bo remembers.
And they were in separate parts of the locker room, and not one word was spoken.
Yep, and this is the first time, I think, in a long time that Bo Anderson was, he was on an island by himself. He had no alliance to anyone outside the ring to help him. He had to fight he had to fight Cage one-on-one, and Cage never got that grudge match from Bo Anderson after the attack. Right. So this was his time, and Bo Anderson got some licks in. He obviously worked that leg pretty hard, took the brace off and everything, but Cage overcame it. He shows that he that he's going to rise above the adversity, you know, and hopefully become one of the next top guys in SCW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got to work his way back. You know, it's not gonna be, you know, a 1-day trip. It's not gonna happen in the next month or so. But in time, you know, he's eventually going to make his name a consistent name that needs to be mentioned in SCW or even anywhere else he feels that he wants to wrestle.
That's right.
You know, I got no problem throwing him some matches at High Voltage if he wants to get some more work in. I mean, that's on him. It's like I told everyone at SCW, you want to come on the show? You want to come on JFW? Fucking call me. Same thing with High Voltage. You want to be on High Voltage? Fucking call me. I'm right here. I'm not going to go out and hunt people down to come fucking do them a favor. No, you fucking reach out to Travesty.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I be on your show? Oh yeah, we're supposed to have Koa on today. What the hell happened to that?
I think that was supposed to be yesterday when we were supposed to.
You know what? He didn't reach out to me. He didn't reach out to me. That's the thing. He's like, oh, I want to be on your show. I haven't heard from him since. He's on that list of people. Hey, Koa, you want to be on the show? I know you're listening. You told me yourself, like, oh, your daughter has a problem with our cussing, so let me do it this way. Reach out to me. You want to come on the show? I'll give you 5, 10, I'll give you 15 fucking minutes. Just gotta show up. Just gotta call me. Reach out to me. Eldorado, you want to come on the show? Reach out to me. DJ Price? Hell, JPH. Jimmy Blaze, I just reached out to you. I'm giving you once. I reach out once. Other than that, you want to come on the show? Fucking reach out to me.
There you go.
Yeah.
The other question I have right now.
We're not hard to find. We're on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, JFW Podcast. We have an email account, justfreakinwrestling@yahoo.com. I'm not that hard to find. Reach out to me. You know Nubby? Reach out to Nubby.
That's right. I'm in the chat, you know.
Oh my God, that thing never shuts up. Holy hell.
So before we go into the next match, I just have one question. Where does Bulletproof Bo Anderson go from here? Does he return? Again? Ever?
I don't know. I think Bo is a group guy, but at the same time, I think after losing that match, there is no more Bulletproof LLC in SCW. So I really don't know. Like I said, him being there was a shock. Like I was surprised he came back because, I mean, he kind of left an embarrassment.
Right.
So I really don't know. I mean, yes, I would love to see Bulletproof come back. I think as a veteran talent, he could show a lot to these younger guys. You know what? Come to High Voltage. I wouldn't mind throwing you a match here or there, you know, work with the younger guys, show them how to, you know, get a win, you know, here and there. You know, I could always use a Brooklyn Brawler.
You know, speaking of embarrassment.
Yeah.
The Workhorses.
Yeah, they
took on Eldorado and VJ Price. Eldorado and VJ Price won this match, and I'm going to say they owned the Workhorses about 80% of the match.
I will say this about the Workhorses. They are goofy as fuck, but they are really entertaining. Like, I can't remember exactly what they did, but they did something when they came out, when they came on their entrance, and I just laughed because it was just so fucking entertaining. And I remember I was sitting right next to Dally when they did it, and I can't remember what the fuck it was, but I was like, you know that they're gonna get their ass kicked, but they're entertaining the fucking crowd, so I'm gonna give them that. They're not pretty in any sense of the word. Like they are butt fucking ugly. Like brown bagging butt fucking ugly. But damn if they're not fucking entertaining to watch. Even when getting their ass kicked, it is entertaining as shit. And it just shows the power that El Dorado and VJ Price are going to bring to the tag team division. You know, this is realistically only their third time teaming with each other, you know, so a little more practice. I think they're going to get down to cadence to a tag team and everything because it does take skill to be a tag team wrestler. But they show they have the power. They just got to, you know, keep working together and everything. Debuting, I think, a new tag team name, a new ring entrance song. So definitely finding themselves as a tag team. But yeah, they fucked those workhorses up, and like I said, I'm glad they're there. I'm glad that they're showing up at SCW. It's a you know, I mean, obviously their presence is a breath of fresh air. Not saying that their ring attire is, because they don't look like they bathe, but the fact that they're there is something different, something new to SCW that I think the SCW fans will appreciate, is having more talent coming in, especially in the tag team division, because it's getting kind of small. You know, like Lee Payne's not really together anymore. You get Dysfunction, or you get Evil Gains Evil once in a while together, but I don't know. Like I know you don't like the workhorses. I know Steve don't like the workhorses. I mean, they're just like, it's like rooting for the horse that you know is going to be glue after the last match. You know, after the last race, like, this is it. Then he's going out and becoming Elmer's. It's like, you want to root for him to win, but you know deep down, this fucker's going to come in last.
Mm-hmm. True.
Workhorse indeed, but, you know, glue factory fucking bound workhorses.
True.
I did feel bad for their girlfriends. The fact that Steve just kept fucking pointing them out and everything. It's like, I mean, that's not polite. That's not respectful. That's not what somebody who's running SCW should do. And he did say it himself. He was in charge of SCW for Hersher and everything. He was appointed as a commissioner or whatever, the executive of SCW for Hersher. And that's all fine and dandy. But if you're truly the guy, then why the fuck do you still need to get texts from fucking Terry? And why do you guys sit there and, you know, mock the audience that he has? I get it. His shoes are getting too bright for his fucking personality.
Oh, man. Yeah, El Dorado and VJ Price got the win over the workhorses. Let me just say their chests were pretty red. Chop City. Speaking of Chop City, it was Natasha Crane defending her championship in a rematch from Dissension against Nikki Nix. Natasha Crane retained, but she got chopped yet again, and her chest was bright red with a nice handprint from Nikki Nix.
Yeah, we saw Nikki. I had to be reminded or educated on the fact that Nikki has previously had some matches in SCW, but recently made her return back to Southland Championship Wrestling, and definitely is giving the Amazon a run for her money. I mean, Amazon has been SCW Women's Champion for quite some time. She has been known as a powerhouse for SCW, not only in the women's division, but also, you know, as half a tag team of the Alliance of Hope, tagging with the Sheik on multiple occasions, wrestling men on multiple occasions. She holds her own. And that says a lot for Nikki. You know, if she could hold her own against the Amazon, then she does have a good chance of potentially becoming an SCW Women's Champion, you know, going forward. You know, it's going to take a little bit more time, obviously, you know, getting back into the swing of things. I don't know what her career has been like between the last time she was SCW and now, but I think regardless of going from one company to another, you got to get adapted to your new surroundings, you know, and I think she's doing that really well. Like I said, a lot of close calls and in Hersher. And who knows? I think she's going to have a bright future in SCW if she sticks around, and we could see a crowning of a new champion here in, you know, probably the near future.
True.
Yeah.
And Nikki has been a champion in other companies. So she knows what that's like.
Yeah.
But SCW is a different animal, and Natasha Crane is no joke. She'll whoop that ass.
Oh, yeah.
But Nikki Nix is showing that she can hang.
Yeah.
She still hasn't gotten over me dropping her in a battle royal, but hey.
That's your specialty. She should know that.
Right. So we danced.
Yeah.
We danced a little bit to Dirty Dancing before I threw her out. So I gave her a little something. But hey, I gotta win my match.
Yeah, you don't go after Nubby and fucking battle royals. Come on now, everyone knows that.
I was a champion for a reason. Damn it.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Recognize. Hell.
Fucking A, man. Well, anyway, it's good to see Nikki, doing her thing. We've recently been tagging at IPW. We haven't been winning, but we look good doing it. So that's all that matters.
Hell yeah.
So we'll see what happens on who's going to be next for Natasha's title. She's got something big coming up, maybe at WrestleTopia. Who knows?
Yeah, we haven't really got the full match card to WrestleTopia. I think 4 matches have been announced. No, that's right. I think 5 matches have been mentioned, but only 3 are officially announced, or 4. Well, we'll talk about it.
Right.
We'll talk about it after.
Definitely. So speaking of things, we have the main event, or what was supposed to be the main event.
Yeah, it was like a double main event.
Right. You got a double main event in one sitting. POW's own JPH. Now, hold on. Okay. I got to backtrack earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Steve yelled at me for mentioning POW.
Of course you did. It's Steve.
Wouldn't it have been smart to kind of get the new people, the new fans, up to speed on what about POW and to get them to come to WrestleTopia?
Yeah, there's an understanding there, yeah.
Promotion. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, so JPH of POW took on Bane X.
Yep.
In what was supposed to be a singles match.
Yep.
And let's see, JPH jumped Bane X at the beginning. Before even the match started. I didn't ring the bell until they both got in the ring.
Good call.
Well, they didn't officially get in the ring now, did they?
That's
and
true.
It was not a Falls Count Anywhere's match.
True. Yeah.
See, I am smart. May not be all the time, but
he got the intelligence.
I know my shit. I know my rules. My rules.
He's well educated.
Yes. So, one-on-one between those two, they're fighting back and forth. And what we thought Bane X was ready to spear the holy hell out of JPH. Who comes to the ringside, Travis?
Cobra, VIP, and Esquire.
Now, why the fuck did VIP come out? The Cobra, I understand maybe he's neutral in this whole thing with POW, whatever, cool, but why VIP did he come out after he was part of the original, invasion?
Yeah.
Who was also jumped at High Voltage. Why did he help JPH?
I think a lot of it has to do with that lawyer. I think the lawyer got into his head. Excuse me. And, it was getting into his head and telling him, listen, you got to start making a name for yourself. You got to start doing something that's outside the box. Because what he's doing is not working. I don't think it was a VIP thing. I think it was a lawyer telling him what to do. Because, like you said, VIP has been on many bad ends of a POW like attack. We've seen him come out to the ring to help SCW. So he's no stranger to being an SCW guy. I don't know. This is probably the first time I'd have to agree with Terry and Steve on, there's got to be some repercussions for what VIP did. Now, the Cobra, he's never picked a side. He's never said, I'm an SCW guy, I'm a POW guy. You said it. He's pretty much neutral. He can do what he wants. It was unfortunate, but luckily, Bane X wasn't alone.
No.
No.
It turned out, Santana Starks and El Dorado came out to save the day.
Yep. Yeah, turning the main event to a 6-man.
But before that, they were ready to fight already, and me and Flat Top were losing our shit. And what do you know? Steve gets a phone call.
Yeah, of course he did. Even though he was running the show, he still had to get a phone call and be told what to do.
Terry's always watching.
Yeah, good management, Steve. Even though you're in charge, you still got to check with Daddy and see what the best decision is. Good job.
So it made it a 6-man, and still nice and back and forth between the two teams. And what looked like Santana Starks was going to take a huge beating, or the heat. And Santana Starks said, "Fuck that." He found a way to get out and then tagged El Dorado. Yep. And I think that was smart because El Dorado's the biggest one out of everybody. And it looked like El Dorado had it, and then the other guys kind of took him down a little bit, but then things got all crazy again. They all started fighting each other, and it came down to Bane X versus VIP, and one spear, and VIP was down. But here's the kicker. Bane X was not alone in the pinning. He brought in the kid to help him pin, and I'm like, well, the kid didn't kick anybody, touch anybody. You just went and helped for pinning, so I counted. There was nothing wrong with it. So
yeah,
some say would argue that he interfered. Nope, he did not interfere whatsoever. He just maybe shouldn't have been in the ring, but he was invited.
We'll call it a pin by proxy.
Right. That's what it's called. If it's not, it should be.
And the fact that VIP took 2 losses on the same night, again, shows how well this lawyer does not help.
It seems that lawyers don't help at all.
No. I bet he's cashing them fucking paychecks.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it in ARW with big what's his nuts? Levi Esquire McGuire. He's failing as usual. We got this guy in SCW. Yep. Eric Schultz, I think, might be the only one successfully doing it, but still, he's a corrupted ass lawyer. And I mean, what are lawyers? Why can't they just go back to their office and do shit? Why do they need to be out there?
Right. I got no problem with them being out there, as if if the people they're working with succeed. Right now, he is not worth the fucking money that they're paying him. I don't know what they're paying him. I'm assuming they're paying him, and he has not shown value in it based on wins. Even opportunities and stuff. You would think that if he's there to make corrections at SCW, you'd see title opportunities, you'd see main event opportunities, you'd see a fucking win. But it's just not there. Now, not to say that it won't happen. I'm not saying that, down the line, they find a groove and VIP goes on a winning streak and becomes maybe a Genesis champion or even a tag team champion with the Sheik. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like that's a thing.
You gotta find what works. And VIP has not found it yet.
Yeah. Maybe they gotta start small. Start with I don't know, a broom.
I don't know. Maybe Moppy.
Right, yeah. Work your way up to the Bell Girl. Go one step further. Maybe fucking Power Hour Steve.
Well, maybe, I don't know. The Bell Girl of SCW she's tough.
Yeah, but she just laughs too much. So, fucking watching VIP wrestle, he'll probably just giggle her into a submission.
Okay.
Right. I can see her falling to the ground, rolling out of the ring in laughter and not not acknowledging the 10 count because her laughs are so hard as he sits there in his blue blood tights. WrestleTopia is next Saturday, Nubby.
Yes, it is.
Now we know that the body bag match has been announced. It is Hunter Payne, SCW Heavyweight Champion, taking on Jimmy Blaze. Body bag match. In order to win, stuff your opponent into a body bag. The ladder match has been announced for the Call Your Shot ladder match. Who's in it? We got Koa, JPH, Aaron Xavier, Kazile. There's one more.
Chris Ward.
The Battle Royal, the Memorial Battle Royal has also been announced. I'm not sure who's in that. Maybe Turtle?
It is a specialty.
Right? So, also has been mentioned, but not officially signed. As far as I know, I don't know if I'm supposed to mention this. I don't care, whatever. I'm going to do it anyways because I am who I am. We should be crowning the first ever high voltage champion at WrestleTopia. I'm not quite sure who's in that match. There's discussions have to be made with higher ups on the final decision of who's in that because certain wrestlers who don't show up that I get blamed for, alter things. So I don't know who's going to be in it, but also the POW Championship, I believe, is on the line. Max Holiday taking on a POW wrestler as well. I think his name like Tyler something.
Tyler Sullivan?
Let's see, I got it right there. It is Tyler Sullivan. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
So POW champion Max Holiday taking on challenger Tyler Sullivan. You got Hunter Payne taking on Jimmy Blaze, and then you got the Call Your Shot ladder match with Koa, Miles Mercer. Almost forgot Miles.
That's right, Miles
Aaron
Mercer,
Xavier, Kazile, JPH, and Chris Ward. As well as we got obviously the Battle Royal. The Nick Huffman Memorial Battle Royal is going to be happening that night as well. More matches are going to be announced and made as we go forward. We still got another week before that. So we're going to recap obviously next week, on the next episode. And I still haven't heard from Jimmy Blaze, so who knows if he'll be on here or not.
Speaking of Jimmy Blaze, so it was just announced that at POW's next event, which is in what's the next month, October?
Yeah.
So it's going to be Jimmy Blaze and see, this is why I probably shouldn't have said fuck POW at the time. Should have waited.
That's what happens when you write fuck POW on a piece of paper instead of notes.
What's funny is I didn't write it down. I didn't even write anything of POW down. I just did it off of memory. I did it from the heart because it's what I do. It's going to be now. I think Jimmy Blaze is jumping the gun here.
Yeah, because
it's going to be Revolution, which is Jimmy Blaze and Eric Freedom. The guy he got from the nursing home.
Yeah.
Against
Johnny B. Old.
Yeah. They'll be facing Hunter Payne and Marco Anthony. This October 1st. September 17th hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
One of these two, Jimmy Blaze and Hunter Payne, will not make this match because one of them will be in a body bag. So Jimmy Blaze here is just fucked up by jumping the gun.
Yeah, there's an arrogance to Jimmy. There's no doubt. POW's whole company has an arrogance to them. That they think they're untouchable.
Right.
But we do know that the host show is basically a SCW versus POW. I know Scott Spade's going to be in the building. Obviously VJ Price, El Dorado, Amazon. I don't know who POW is bringing down. Obviously that is a Terry Allen kind of, he makes the show. So I'm not really involved in the bookings of that stuff. So I don't know. I'm not even involved in the booking of my high voltage champion fucking match.
It was announced that referee Brian Allen will be there. and apparently he's booked to referee the show. And
no shit.
that motherfucker has the balls to tell me that I have an obsession with pizza. When that motherfucker knocked pizza out of my hand at a Windy City Thunderbolts game. I have an obsession with pizza. Yes. Wanna know why? Because pizza is life. So
Pizza is life. Pizza
Fuck
is
you.
100% life.
Fuck you, Brian Allen, you piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Brian Allen. I don't know who you are, but fuck you.
He's that pal referee that thinks he's better than me.
Now, fuck you, you nobody.
Who claimed it didn't see a foot on a rope at Steam Hollow, but clearly looked at it, but still didn't see it.
Off. Anyway, you're looking at Shaban Civic Center on Saturday, September 17th, 180 West First South Street, Shaban, Illinois, 6:30 p.m. door, 7 p.m. bell time. As I mentioned, more matches are going to become available throughout the week. We'll run through them on next week's show and everything, so you guys have an idea of what's coming along with what's already booked. I think I got a meeting this week with SCW. I really don't know. This week has been kooky because of the holiday. So we'll see. I think I'll do this freaking show this week, so that may probably take precedence over a meeting. But it's not like Terry knows if I'm there or not anyways.
I think it should be noted that all front row seats are sold out.
They are. I don't even know if I don't know if anyone saved me a fucking ticket. I told them I want a front row seat, and I bet they fucking sold it on me. Assholes.
You know what? We're going to give you a seat next to Steve and commentary. How about that?
I'm good.
Okay, you can just, wait. You should be there in the back or something. Because if the high voltage title is on the line, you should be there.
I assume that I would have had the opportunity to present the title to the first champion.
See, I agree.
And I
should be the right thing.
And no one's come and talked to me about it yet. No one said, "Hey, Travis, we're gonna have you, present the championship to the first champion." No one brought that to my. No one came up to me. I'm gonna assume that this is Terry's way of punishing me for the things I have been saying. He can't fire me. As far as I know, he can't fire me. But I guess he could take things like this away from me. Which, hey, you know what? If I end up just being another guy in the crowd, so be it. I know my place when it comes to SCW. I know it's not at the top of the fucking tree, but at least I'm in the fucking branches. Somewhere in there. There's a little nest. A little hole. Yeah, a little hole in the trunk that I burrow into and shit. But I wouldn't say no. If they said, "Hey, Trash, you want to present the title?" I wouldn't say no.
I personally think you should be the special guest referee.
Oh, fuck no. God, no, I'd be too tired. I'd just take a nap. Oh, I'd be exhausted. I'd sweat my balls off getting into the ring. Oh, hell no. But make sure you guys check out WrestleTopia. Like I said, it is next Saturday, Shaban Civic Center. We'll keep more information available. As Nubby said, front row seats are sold out, but other tickets are available for $15. Pace Setters, Fit Body U, I believe. I think Fitness Premier, they also have tickets, as well as at the door. So
you could also hit me up or JFW Podcast on Facebook, and I'll find a way to get them.
Are you selling tickets? You selling fucking tickets?
I'm trying to.
Good for you. I don't do that shit no more.
I'm trying to meet the fans before the show.
Would be a guy? Yeah, I don't do that shit no more. I don't peddle tickets no more. I'm past that.
I kind of want to just help the fans out.
That's awesome. I see on the messenger, and I was like, oh, I sold this, I sold that. I was like, yeah, I don't do that no more. Travis don't do that shit no more. I'm good. Fucking God, I hated that so much. But that was the business, man. You want to do training, flyer and tickets, bro.
But one thing I won't do is save seats for anybody. I did that for like a year, barely a year, and that was the most fucking painful thing I had to do. That I did do it every fucking time, and I got really sick of it after a while.
No. If you guys are looking for tickets, get a hold of us on Facebook at Just Freaking Wrestling. Nubby has tickets for you. be responsible for your own seat. There are chairs available. You just got to find one yourself. But Nubby has tickets for you, so reach out to us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Just Freaking Wrestling. Email us at justfreakinwrestling@yahoo.com. If you want to be on the show, if you're a wrestler and want to come on the show and talk, feel free to do so. Like I said, we're doing a lot more interviews. I love to talk about some of the old timers, as well as what we're doing right now, talking about indie wrestling and a little bit of television stuff. Steve couldn't make it tonight. That's okay. We'll catch him next time. And Dally, hopefully we'll be back next week as well. But you still got me and Nubby, so that's a good thing.
That's right.
Nubby, that's all I got, man.
I think we can ring the bell on this episode.
Perfect. As always, I am Travesty.
And I am the amazing turtle, Kawabunga, and good night.
Thanks for listening to our episode of Just Freaking Wrestling, the JFW Podcast.